everyone. I'm Kelsey,
And I'm JPatt.
and you're watching the Box Officers podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please be sure to leave us a star rating and review wherever you're listening to this episode.
Watching a bad movie is like witnessing a serious crime, but have no fear. The box officers are here. Each episode, Kelsey, Georgette, and I will review a new movie, and at the end of each episode, we'll classify the film according to the severity of punishment.
Films could be classified of a
Hmm.
felony, an infraction, a misdemeanor, or on this rare occasion found innocent. This week, we are going to be reviewing the movie Obsession. So if you haven't seen it yet, you're going to want to pause this episode now because there's going to be a lot of spoilers. Otherwise, we could get into the episode. This
Yeah.
episode's going to be a little bit different than our normal episodes because
Speaking of haven't seen it, Kelsey hasn't seen
I
it.
was going to say for the first time ever, I did not watch the movie. And it's so funny because like there have been a few times where like you or Georgette won't watch it, but I feel like I always watch everything. And I was
Yeah.
refusing to watch this, which we could get into later. But like we thought like why not take advantage of this and we'll do like a new series that kind of pops in and out sometimes. Where it's
Hmm.
like blank watched it, so you don't have to. So this is our first JPatt watched it, so you don't have
First
to.
JPatt watched it. Yeah. And
I'm
I
excited. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Because I mean, it was for a horror movie. I think it was pretty good for a horror movie. And I say that as somebody that doesn't really like horror movies. Like you felt like horror. And after I watched it, I was like, it's 1 a.m. Why am I watching
Yeah,
this for?
I was curious why you watched it so late too. I was like, that's bold.
Well, I
You
thought today
texted
was
us
going to
at
be,
midnight, and I was like, what the heck?
yeah, I thought today was going to be busier than it actually was. And then also yesterday, both of my friends, they both had birthday parties for their, 1-year-old, 2-year-olds. So yesterday was packed with, just me being family. So yeah, I literally only had time to watch it at like 11 p.m.
That's
yesterday.
so
So,
crazy.
but we could go over the cast. We could start with the cast.
Mm,
We'll start with, I guess, I would assume the lead male, and that's Michael Johnston. He plays a
okay.
character named the Bear. Bear is basically I guess, stereotypical shy guy, doesn't really
Yeah.
have much game talking to girls or whatever. And he goes and makes a wish to make this one girl he had a crush on obsessed with him.
Uh-huh.
And before I actually dove into like what the movie was about, I thought he made a wish that would be like, oh, I want all girls to like love me or something like that, or like I want all girls to think I'm attractive. And I think I got it mixed up with another movie trailer that had that same premise. But yeah, I was just kind of interested because it seemed like one of those little like I guess cautionary tales where it's like, oh, be careful what you wish for. Like how you'll like there'll be those stories like it's like a genie and then it's like, oh, I wish I could fly, and he turns you into like a
Yeah.
bird or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going into it thinking it would kind of be like that, and that it would kind of be like another movie called Together, where yeah, there's like horror elements, but it's also a little funny in there as well.
Hmm.
And I think this movie had way more horror than funny, even though it
Did
had
you
its
watch
funny
together?
moments. Yeah, I watched Together. Yeah. Actually,
Okay.
kind of, I like Together. Together was a bit more thriller than it was horror. Like,
Mm,
it was, if it was any horror, I think it was like body horror, where it's
yeah, for
like,
sure.
you're watching like bodies merge and stuff. But, anyways, that was the lead guy. And then the star of the movie, in my opinion, is a woman. She was, her name is Indy Neverett. I think I'm pronouncing that right. But she was like, people are like going crazy by how well she act in this movie, and I've got to say like, yeah,
Do you
I
agree?
think for this being like what seems like a debut film for her, or at least a debut like blockbuster for her, like she's basically kind of like this is like she's got her foot in the door, like this is her like entrance into her movie career. Because I think based off of the movies and shows I'm seeing that she's done, she's only been in 13 Reasons Why and Superman and Lois, which were two like, Netflix series or shows. I think this is her first major movie, like her first
Blockbuster.
major film. She was very like just like she was terrifying in that movie.
No
And the
way.
way, yeah, she like acted her butt off.
I hate
And
that
then
I
we
didn't
have
watch it because, like, I love how it sounds like she did really well, and so, like, I
mhm,
would love to see someone just really act their butt off, but guys, like, I'm already not a horror person, which I know sounds ironic because everything I like is, like, a thriller or suspenseful, but, like, thriller is so different from horror, and even horror, I can do horror if it's not, like I don't know. Okay, so from what I gathered, and I think
yeah,
we'll get into it later, you'll correct me if I'm wrong. My interpretation was is giving something witchy is brewing. I hate a spirit. I hate a possession. I hate a demon. I hate any of that stuff. I never watched The Conjuring. I never watched Annabelle or any of that stuff. I
yeah,
hate seeing people
yeah,
get possessed. The Exorcist, no, 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 no. I'm not watching it.
yeah,
So I couldn't do this because I was just like literally, I'm pretty sure this girl's gonna be possessed and I don't want
yeah,
to see that mess. And was
yeah.
I
I've
right to
never.
avoid the movie? Or could I have handled
I'd
it?
say you were right to avoid the movie in a sense where it would very much disturb you. You know, there were like a lot of like disturbing moments. In my opinion, it didn't have like it wasn't like demon possession or it wasn't like an Annabelle or because I've never seen any of those movies either for the same reason. This almost seemed like I think in my head it was more occultish. I
Mm,
think it was not even witch, but just more occultist in a sense. Like, let's say, like, you have like those shops that are kind of like they have, whatever, like the little stones, the little crystals, or whatever, just things like that. And he basically, the movie starts off with him going into one of those stores. He sees his little thing or whatever, and it's just like I think it's called a one wish willow, and it's like, it looks like a little tree branch or whatever. And I guess when you crack it, that's when you make your wish. But it gives off that type of like witchy magic type stuff, but it didn't give off of demonic possession. Like even when she was possessed all throughout the movie, it was almost as if there was a double of her created that was obsessed with the guy. That double of her took control of her body, and there were times throughout the movie where she would come out of that trance a bit. Like she would come out of the trance and she would panic. She'd be like, "Where am I? Help! Like what am I?" And then like the way she acted, like the way the actress like portrayed that, it seemed like so real. It was like she would come out of her body, be like, what's going on? And then just like go straight back into the other character. And
that's
it
so
that
crazy.
yeah, yeah. So I'd say it was more
Shout out
like
to her.
yeah. I'd say it's more like magic. I wouldn't say she was possessed by a witch or anything, but it's
Okay.
just more like yeah, it was more on that side, not towards the whole demonic possession or the whole occult star and the 666 whatever. It,
Yeah.
it wasn't none of that. Like they that never showed through when she was possessed. She was
Okay.
just extremely possessed, extremely creepy. Like obsessed is one thing, but then at the point where you're like in the corner of the room, barely visible in the dark, watching somebody sleep, and she's just like, "Oh, I'm just watching you sleeping. Go back to sleep."
It's like,
But the way
I don't
she,
think I will.
yeah, the way she would talk, it was just the way she would talk and how well they did with the editing of the lighting. There's several points in the movie where she's in plain sight to us because we're looking, like we could see like the whole like room, but she's in a very dark corner,
Oh,
overshadowed. So it's almost like it's like she's faded into the dark, and then she'll like come out. It's hard to explain unless you see the movie,
I
but
think
I
that was
will
explained
say,
well, for sure.
yeah, I will say that they did go crazy. I mean, I think their budget was like 715,000 or like 1 million. And opening weekend, I think they've made like 16 million. So I'm
Wow,
like,
good for them.
yeah, I'm like with the budget that they had, and I feel like she basically made the whole movie,
That's
honestly.
not a big
Like,
budget, low key either, if
yeah.
you
I feel
think
like
about it.
she was, yeah, I feel like she was at least going to make them, make them what they spent, you know,
Yeah.
if it was just her, if it was
Yeah, a
just
million
off
is
of
nothing.
her,
Yeah.
right, yeah, if it was just off of her acting alone, she has some $1 million acting. And yeah,
Wow,
the
that's so
supporting
cool.
cast,
So help me
yeah.
out. I want to know, basically, like I get the premise, but take me through like the story because it kind of probably escalates to a point and then there's like a
Right.
resolution probably in the end. If you had to like hit the major points in like a minute or two, what would you say like this is what happened? Like the overview, the
Yeah.
spark notes, the summary.
Okay, so Spark Notes. Okay, he finds someone with Willow. They
He's
have a night
crazy for
out or
that
whatever.
already.
Yeah,
How you
yeah.
buy stuff like that
Very.
in a store and already that he's obsessed low key if you think about it. Because for you to buy this and try to place a spell on this girl, even if you think you're joking, like that's still
Yeah.
kind of crazy that your mind even went there low key, right?
No,
Like
yeah, that's very crazy. Like a lot of people were saying that he could tech you can technically you could consider him the villain of the movie, really.
yes,
Like after like the stuff that he put that girl through, and based off the ending of the movie, she's basically the victim because I mean throughout the whole movie she's just stuck in this in between where she knows that there's something or someone in her body, and there are very small pockets of time where she can like either just be like in complete shock or be like screaming like where am I, like what's going on, or be able to like give like very short messages. Like there was one scene in the movie, I guess I'm not really spoiling it, but there's one scene in the movie where she's asleep, right? He's trying to sneak out of bed because he's trying to meet with this other character, which later he that doesn't go well. But he's trying to meet with this other girl and he's sneaking out of bed while she's asleep, and he gets out of bed very, very, very slowly. And then all of a sudden he hears her whisper and she's like, she's asleep. Like she's sleeping. Please kill me. Like she's like saying she's
wow.
sleeping, please kill me while she's asleep. Like begging for mercy because in that one moment while her body or whatever else was in her body was asleep, she was able to basically talk while she was asleep and be like, she's asleep, kill me, get me out of this, whatever this situation. He even, him being like, he was just so selfish throughout the movie. He's even like, why didn't you, I forget what he said. Like, he said something like, why didn't you like me? Or like, I'm like,
Oh, so that would have
she's,
pissed me off low key.
yeah,
I'm glad that would have pissed me
yeah.
off so bad.
But that moment alone, like, it was like, dang, like, for her to be stuck in the body, like, while all of this is going on, was insane. So he's definitely the villain. Like, he was definitely a villain for everything that went on. He causes a lot of chaos, not just with her, but with the friends, like the little friend group surrounding them. But I guess the spark notes will be he breaks that one wish Willow crazy. He asks for her to be obsessed with him. So after a night out, he drops her off at her crib and she even gives him a chance. She even gives him the chance where she's like, do you like me? Or like, do you have feelings for me? And then he has the nerve to just be like, no, I think we're just, great friends.
That's
And
what he
she's just
says.
like, yeah, that's when I text you. I think mid movie I was like, this guy has zero like zero game. Like it's a damn shame. And she's like, oh, okay. He's like, all right, good night. So she's walking back to her house. She walks into the house and he takes the one wish Willow and breaks it. And then he makes his wish.
After
And
she
then
already gave him a chance,
yeah, after she gave him the chance
so
and
he's
everything,
the
it's
worst.
literally all his fault. So he breaks it. Minutes later, I guess he looks up and she's back standing on her porch, like just in the dark, just standing on her porch watching him. And then she walks up to the car, acting all cute and stuff. Like, hey, you should come inside. We could talk about, blah, 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 blah. So this is where that possession starts, or like, her being obsessed starts. And throughout this part of the movie, the friends are noticing it. They're noticing how weird she's acting. He's noticing how weird she's acting and having these weird breakdowns or whatever. Even going as far as to lying to him about having a dad with cancer. She lies about her dad having cancer in order to get closer to him, or at least in order to make him stay the night at her place. And later on in the movie, he finds out that this was a lie and he confronts her about it. And you might have seen this scene where they're having dinner and he confronts her about it.
I
And
haven't seen
he's
it.
like,
Like I think. I
yeah,
think
it was,
I don't even know that I paid attention to the
yeah,
trailer in the theaters and stuff because I was like, I am not watching this mess. Like, I'm just not.
yeah. It
I
wasn't
already
in the
had decided
theaters.
to look
Yeah,
down,
just ignore it. Yeah,
dig
it
into my
wasn't in the
cupboard.
theaters, but it was. I saw it on Twitter, and it kind of got me interested into it. She starts kind of like, oh, man, you'd have to see it. It's just the acting. I feel like when people saw the acting, that's what like hooked everybody, because it hooked me. But she's like, no, 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 no. And then she starts like, but she's saying that while she's smiling. And then she starts getting up from the table and then she starts yelling at him. Forget what she said. She said something like, I thought we were having, a good date or something like that. And then she starts being hysterical and starts crying and he's having to calm her down because he basically found out that she was lying to him. So
Mhm.
the entity or whatever is in her body starts acting strange because it's like, oh, he's caught on to this lie or whatever. But okay, anyways, throughout the movie, he's dealing with her and her very crazy, creepy possession. And then there are these fleeting moments where the girl comes out for a second, comes out of it, and she's like, yo, what's going on? But it's like maybe for like 5 seconds. So imagine her acting all cutesy, lovey-dovey, whatever, says the girlfriend, and then starts freaking out for 10 seconds. Where am I? What's going on? And then just like, and then back to the possessed part. So there's this other moment, and this is later on in the movie. They're having this little kickback at their friend's place, and he wasn't supposed to invite her, but he does because his friend, he was like, okay, let's see how she acts if you don't bring her here. And if you don't bring her here and she acts normal, then maybe there's nothing crazy going on. But if she starts acting crazy, then, there's something going on between you two. But anyways, he invites her anyway, so he messes up that whole plan. And while they're sitting there, like, oh my gosh. Yeah, okay, so while they're sitting there, they're playing this game. Kind of like it's like almost like a spin the bottle or like a truth or dare type of game. But in this scene, what does she do, man? She acts so weird so many times. But in this one specific part, there's this other character named Sarah, who's kind of like the girl who actually liked him. And basically, he draws whatever the truth or dare was, and it's supposed to be kiss the person to your left. And that's Sarah. Now, his girlfriend, the obsessed girl, she's sitting across from him. And as soon as it's like kiss the person to your left, he looks at Sarah. He looks at the obsessed girl, sorry, and she's standing up looking down at him with this just like I don't know how to have you seen Attack on Titan?
I now yes.
Okay, give me a second.
I just
I don't know how she did it, but the perfect portrayal, like you shouldn't even be able to make this face in real life. But the way she made this face was, you know who Yelena is in
on
Attack
Attack
on
on
Titan?
Titan.
Yeah.
I'm only on season 1. I just started it.
Oh, oh, man.
So actually,
Okay, well,
I was gonna say maybe let's not, but I
okay, well
understand.
you can at least see the face. You might have seen the face
Okay.
before, but basically made
Oh yeah,
this
that's so
face right
funny.
here. Like
Yeah.
literally made that face in real life, but she was just making that face at him. She walks around to Sarah, stands behind her. You're thinking like she's standing behind her, you're thinking that she's about to like break Sarah's neck, with the way, like with the energy that she was giving off. But she just takes Sarah's chair, she pulls her chair back, like just drags Sarah back, and then goes and stands in front of her, and then like bends down next to the
Guy.
guy, and
Yeah.
then just smiles at him like, I'm the person to your left.
Yeah.
But like just imagine how awkward that would feel in person, like in real
For
life.
everybody. Yeah.
And I guess take some of that awkwardness from like what was that movie? The Drama times
Yeah.
10 and then apply it right there in that moment. Like it
Yeah.
was the like cringiest, like, oh my gosh, type of moment. And the crazy thing is throughout this movie, her character never physically harms him,
Right.
but she does physically harm herself.
Right.
Smashes a glass bottle across her face or a brick or something hard or whatever. Like she harms herself, and that's almost like I feel like that was almost like whatever it was, the entity's way of like I guess inflicting pain to make him do whatever. Because I mean,
Right.
she can't harm him. She's obsessed with him.
Yeah.
She wouldn't hurt him. She wants him to love her, and she's like, "Do you love me? I love you so much, or whatever." But she can't harm him, so she'll harm herself at times to like get what she wants. So after that whole thing goes down, there's the scene I told you about where she's like talking in her sleep, talking like, whatever it is, this entity or whatever it is asleep. Kill me while you can, please. This is like my only way of communicating with you like now.
Hmm.
He doesn't do that. He just kind of like walks off. He goes and meets up with the girl, Sarah, and oh man, man, she does a whole lot of crazy stuff. She feeds him a dead cat, his own dead cat at one point in the movie. That's one thing. But anyways, he meets up with Sarah. I know I just dropped that on you. But anyways, he meets up with Sarah, and Sarah is in the car with him, basically talking about, the crazy stuff that's been going on with Nikki, which is the possessed girl. And he's like, just basically playing it off. He plays it off almost throughout the whole movie until the very end after Nikki does something like unforgivable. And he's just basically saying, Nikki, she's just going through a lot. Her dad has cancer or whatever, blah, 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 blah. Not even telling like the full truth of actually what he did, which was the one wish willow. So Sarah's in the car with him and she has this letter, I guess, to a college acceptance. And this is like the eighth letter she's gotten, but she wants to open it with him because she's hoping that she got into the college. And she's also doing it because she genuinely like likes him. Like she has a crush on him. And that's when she kind of like flirts with him a little bit and he accepts it. And he's just kind of like, I guess at that point, he starts to regret everything going on with Nikki and he shows affection towards her. And that's kind of like, they're the ones who had like a genuine like connection.
Yeah.
So she's like, are you ready to open this with me? And in horror movies or whatever, when you know something is about to happen, especially if there's space in the background for it to happen,
Yeah.
imagine them in the car, she's sitting, and imagine like you're looking at somebody talking to them in the car, like driver's side. You can see their head on this side, and then you
Uh-huh.
can see the rest of the window and everything on this side.
Uh-huh.
So I knew something was gonna happen. I was kind of squinting, so I didn't catch it all. But by the time I opened my eyes, like after a couple seconds, I was like, yeah. But Nikki pulls up, and she doesn't pull up tapping on the window or anything. I think she threw a brick through the window and I think it hit Sarah. And then Nikki grabs the brick wherever it landed after it hit Sarah in the car, puts the brick against the steering wheel, and then grabs Sarah's head and then starts do 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 do. Well, like it was bad.
I'm sure.
It was bad. Like with superhuman level strength, just banging. Like yeah, just Sarah's face was flat as a wall, like after that. So all of that happens. He's in the passenger seat, just kind of like, I mean, there's splatter all over him, but he's just in shock, I guess, because he doesn't even really scream or yell or whatever. Has no type of like, I guess he just has no type of heroism in him. like
Yeah.
he just takes it. He's just in shock. He's just completely like, emasculated. Like and Nikki, she's in the window, her hair is covering her face and stuff like that. But she's not even talking in no spooky tone, no possessed tone, deep voice, scratchy voice, or whatever. Just all kind and sweet. And she's like, you're gonna have to help me, like, take care of the body and this and that or whatever. And he does exactly that. And then afterwards, because Nikki, she's like, I'll take care of the rest. You can go ahead and go home. And afterwards, he's driving and he stops somewhere and he still has Sarah's acceptance letter, which is like her, like, oh no, her acceptance letter after so many. He opens it and she got into the college that she was trying to get into. And
Mm-hmm.
then that's when he breaks and he starts screaming and stuff like that because, he just got his friend
Ruined this
killed
girl's
and
life. Yeah.
yeah, ruined the girl's life and it was the girl that actually liked him or whatever.
So
And he
what
starts freaking out.
how does this even like, I don't know, resolve itself at this point? Because I kind of hate him.
Well, I think at some point in the movie, he actually has the One Wish Willow box and it has a phone number on the back of it, kind of like a customer service or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He calls the phone number and he's asking them, "Oh, can I alter my wish?" And basically, the thing, the person on the phone is like, "No, you can't alter the wish. Once the wish is done." And he's like, "Okay, well, like, can I cancel it? You mentioned canceling it earlier." And it's like, "Nah, you can't really cancel it." He's like, "Why didn't you mention canceling it if I can't cancel it?" And basically, the whole premise is that you can only the wish only ends after the person who made the wish dies, or after somebody else uses their wish, their little one wish willow, to cancel out your wish. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like everybody has one wish in life, basically, or one
Okay.
wish willow that they can break. And because he bought a second one wish willow after the whole Sarah incident, and he's
Yeah.
trying to breaking it. He's trying to break it, but he can't because only
Right.
one person can break it. So he goes to the shop. He goes to the shop owner, and he's like, hysterical. He's panicking. And then the shop owner is like, man, I already made my wish. The shop owner is like so like lackadaisical about it. It's like, this is like his 12th person he's seen who made a terrible wish run in the store, kind of like panicking, and he's just kind of like, you get what you get. But he's like, man, I got my wish. He's like, the only way, why don't you just kill yourself? It's like the only way you're gonna like, end the wish is by killing yourself. But it in the movie, he's kind of saying that in the background while the character is panicking. It's kind of a funny moment, but at the same time, it's just like morbid. Um, yeah, so the only way to resolve it would be by killing himself. That's the part it eventually gets to. So he runs to his friend, the guy friend with the extra one wish willow. He's like, break this one wish willow for me. I know it sounds crazy, blah, blah, blah. You're trying to explain something that sounds crazy to somebody, that whole
Mhm.
movie trope. And he finally he takes the guy takes the one wish willow. He's like, whatever, bro. He breaks it. I wish for $1 billion. In this moment of the movie, I kind of didn't like it because it was just like too random or just too, just kind of like, it takes me out the movie for a second. But he's like, I wish for $1 billion. He cracks one with Willow. Rolls of money just start falling from the ceiling, just out of nowhere. I'm just kind of like, okay, that's a little, what's the word? Not a whole obsession thing. It can be
Yeah,
realistic
just like
because it's,
out of place,
yeah,
maybe.
it's like just yeah, just out of place. Just money just materialized. It's just out of place for a movie that's a little bit more grounded because possession is a real thing, in my opinion. But it's a little bit more grounded, and then for like billions of dollars to just pop up out of breaking this little one bush willow, kind of took me out the movie for a second. That's my only gripe with it.
Mhm.
So after that, he's like, "You just wasted the one wish willow," and he heads back to his house where Nikki has been this whole time. And he gets there, she's, hiding in the corner again, in a very dark corner where you can barely see her. And she pops out and she starts. The crazy thing with the whole possession thing is like the movie was very morbid, gory, and then it was also kind of like gross, where it's like whatever possessed her body didn't even take I guess she would pee on herself or like shit herself, poop on herself, whatever. Just kind of like whatever was in control of her body
Mhm.
was only in control of it to be obsessed with this guy. You get what I mean? So she was a mess. She's still covered in, blood and her own, stuff and everything. He walks in, he sees this shrine, which is also this shrine. She also dedicated a shrine to his dead cat, which she
Okay.
eventually fed to him at one point for whatever reason. So now he sees this shrine dedicated to Sarah, and then he looks up, and in this other room across, there's Sarah's body just sitting in the chair. And she kind of did the same thing with the cat. She made a shrine to the cat, and then he finds his cat, on this little, I'm not sure what it is, just in the middle of the kitchen, just laid out on top of this little platform or whatever, just, whatever. So, anyways, he sees that, and then Nikki, she's doing the whole crazy thing, and I love you and stuff like that. And then his friend pulls up and he's banging on the door. He's like, I just got $1 billion, whatever. Then as soon as he breaks that door down and he gets open, Nikki, like some gunslinger, she just whips out a pistol, just pop, and then his friend is just down. He's gone. And at this point, the main character, the guy, he's like, the only way to end this is I have to kill himself. So he calms her down. She's still holding the gun. He calms her down. She's holding the gun, and he slowly takes it away from her. And he's like, I have to go use the restroom. It's gonna be okay, babe. We're gonna be all right. We're gonna get through this. Whatever. He's saying whatever the thing wants to hear. So he goes to, I know this is a long breakdown. This is not Spark Notes. Yeah.
Does he kill himself or what?
Yeah. So he goes to the
Okay.
restroom. He can't shoot himself, but he eventually takes the medication and he basically overdoses. So he walks, as he's overdosing, he's walking over to Nikki and, he kisses her or whatever, hugs her, all of that. And then she realizes that he's like starting to die. And that's when she starts panicking. She's like, no, 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 no. Stuff like she's about to shoot herself. But then, right as she's about to shoot herself, like she comes to, the wish is
Okay.
broken, and she fades back, and then she's like looking at all the chaos around her, and she sees the gun, she drops it, she sees the guy, she pushes him off of her, and then just basically starts like bawling, like crying, because it's like, what happened to me? Where have I been? Why are all of my friends dead around me?
Yeah.
etc. And then that's how the movie ends. It kind of like pans over to this TV where it shows like the credits and stuff. But while it's showing the credits, there's no music, no creepy music, whatever. You just hear her bawling like in the background, just crying in the background.
Yeah.
And th- it's disturbing. It's like the whole movie is disturbing, and especially the end because you're just hearing, I guess if you were to hear the aftermath of somebody who just like lost a loved one, you
Sure.
know, and then you just kind of like hear that audio playing while the credits are rolling, it's kind of
Sure.
like, yeah, this was disturbing itself. Like, because I don't want to hear that, I don't want
Yeah.
to, but she acted the mess out of her role. She
So
was the star of the show.
what would you rate it or convicted of? I can guess what you were convicted of, but
Yeah.
go for it.
I'm pretty sure just from what everything I've told you, you can see like I'd say a lot of those parts, and I guess if I'm rating it in a horror movie lens and the disturbing factor, I'd give it an innocent because for what it was, like I've seen multiple horror movies and I feel like those horror movies never went as far as this movie did in terms of like just being disturbing or just being like very gory or just like very just like there's just something like wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I will mention there is this one scene, and you may see it once stuff starts to like circulate after the movie, that isn't as fresh. But she did this very weird thing where imagine like you're trying to like walk backwards. It was almost like she did that. It was like
Yeah.
her body like just started spazzing out, almost as if the real Nikki and the fake Nikki were fighting over her body.
Sure.
And it was like
So
she
this
was
is
walking
kind of
and then
why
she
you're
started.
comparing it to like Together and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'd say they're now together was definitely not as disturbing as
Well, they're
this
very
movie
different,
was.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
they're different, but they're still within that range of like, oh, it's horror besides the whole, demons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that movie, that part was very disturbing, and I
Did you
think
watch
after
this by
seeing
yourself?
that, I did.
That's so
Because my, yeah,
crazy. They didn't want to
because
see it.
no, she wasn't gonna watch
Okay,
it.
you're like
She
same.
wasn't gonna
That
watch
makes
it. Yeah.
sense.
I would give it honestly, in terms of a horror movie or whatever, I would give it an innocent because I think it's well deserved. It was just like, man, like it wasn't there was no really like no cliches, no
Sure.
like, for a horror movie, it did super well without having to dive into all the whole like demonology and, conjuring up spirits and, whatever. It was just kind of like, here's a very simple premise and
Sure.
we're going to expand that by like 10. Like,
Storytelling.
because we've all heard the like, the whole story of be careful what you wish for. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like if you were to take, like, if you were to have like be careful what you wish for because you just might get it all, two-sentence horror. It's like if you were to take a
Right.
two-sentence horror sentence and then make a whole plot out of it, that's what this movie would be. And that seems almost hard or impossible to do
Mm-hmm.
at least to make a blockbuster like this, but it's like they did it. It's
Yeah.
like this is the perfect encapsulation of it. So I would give it an innocent when it comes to how I felt afterwards. I would give it a felony because I'm just like
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Which
I'm
means
just like,
it did what it was supposed to do.
yeah, it did what
Do
it
you
was
think
supposed to
Georgette
do.
would have watched it? Not if she would have liked it. Just like, do you think, like, in your opinion,
I
you should?
think
I think she would have
I
watched
feel like
it.
she yeah, I feel like she would have watched it. I think she would have watched it for sure.
Yeah.
I'd
Wow.
say that the hype was I feel like the hype was very warranted because there was a lot of hype around this movie, especially after that scene went a little viral online about, with them in the restaurant. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, there's a bunch of hype around this movie, people really hyping this up. It's very like, yeah, I can see why it was so hyped up. It was pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
now we know. Those
yeah.
JPatt watched it, so you guys don't have to.
And I broke it down for you guys. I mean,
I
I did a
appreciate
lot more spark notes than I did like reviewing, but
that.
I think that's pretty
But
good.
along the way, I think we still got like your energy from it, like how
Yeah, yeah.
your feelings on it as well.
Yeah.
Wow,
But
that's the first in our series as well.
yeah. But that girl, she going somewhere.
Oh yeah,
With that type of acting, she going somewhere.
period. I
Yeah.
You gotta love talented people. We're
Yeah.
nothing without talented people.
I'll
Okay,
probably end up I'll probably end up sending you some clips from it if I come across them
you can send
and they're
us
not
nothing one,
yeah.
but I
No, if it's not too crazy, there's only really one clip I want to send to you, and that's where she does the weird back walk thing. Or I guess also the clip of her in the restaurant. But I'm
yeah,
I'm not gonna send the super creepy clips. Out of respect for you, I'm not gonna do you like that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll see. I
I just
like
want you to kind of like see her acting. That's what it really is.
I totally believe you. Like I
Hmm.
absolutely believe you, which is why I didn't want to watch it. I believe that she has
Mm,
that dog in her. So
I see. Yeah.
she had nothing to prove to me. But this was great. I'm glad that you liked it because you
Hmm.
had to watch it and I didn't. So if it had sucked,
Yeah.
that would have really been messed up that you had to suffer alone. So I'm glad, even though it was like intense, that you really
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
Yep.
Next time on the Box Officers podcast, we have something I was so excited for. Oh my goodness. The
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian and Grogu. We're big
Yeah.
Star Wars fans over here, so we're like really, really excited for this one. There are Grogu things all around my house. It's like really adding to my aesthetic in a weird way, but that will be next Wednesday on the Box Officers podcast. You guys have to leave us a review. Let us know if you want more things like this because obviously this was different than our normal episodes where we're just like, being critical the whole time. This was more like
Right.
walk me through a movie. And I feel like there are movies where sometimes people are like, I don't really want to see it, but tell me like what's going on so I can be in the know. And we could do this again sometime. So just let us know what you think.
Yeah. Don't get mad if I get all the views.
Yeah, this is our best streamed episode ever.
Right.
Well, guys, thank you for tuning in. And we will see you guys next time on the Box
The
Officers
box
Podcast.
officers. Peace.